Hi guys, welcome to another day on the road. I can't really start in the yard, or I couldn't really start in the yard today because there was a truck parked next to me with all the company logos and stuff on, so I started out on the road again. I got Reading, Didcot, Wellingborough, lovely jubbly. Most likely stopping at Sherwell Valley. I can see that on the horizon. There is a very strong possibility that there will be a Gregg's in my future. Although I should really watch out what I'm doing because I'm putting on a little bit too much weight these days. You know, I got bigger boobs than you. But no, it's a nice, sunny, easy day. I'm going a different way to where I want to be on the M25 because I know the M25 is knackered from South Mims anti-clockwise, which is obviously the way I want to go. So I'm using the 414 and hopefully bypassing it. Because I don't mind sitting in traffic now and then, but every so often it's just nice to avoid it, you know? I sat in it on the way to work actually. I was like, oh, really? Such is life. But yes, going back to the chat I did yesterday, in regards finding work and if you're new and trying to get into the industry, I don't want to put people off. Companies will employ you. They are getting government assistance because of higher insurance and stuff like that. They are getting certain tax incentives to employ you, so you will be able to find work. My issue is, thanks to the last couple of governments we've had, we now have a basic minimum wage, which is now a living wage. And that rips wage competition and everything. And of course, if you're under 25, you don't even have to be paid £7.20 an hour. Yeah, what is it? I don't know, about £5 an hour or something, £4 or £5 an hour, something like that. I don't actually know if you're under 25, but I know it staggers, it goes up again at 21 and then full wallop at 25. Now, they refer to it as the living wage, and I'm sitting there thinking, how the hell can they justify £7.20 is a living wage with no overtime rates or anything like that, when the average house price is 280 grand? It doesn't make any sense. They don't want people in social housing because they want people to be socially mobile, but they don't want people to earn enough to be able to afford a mortgage. It's a bit of a catch-22. So, what I'm getting at with the new guys is it's going to cost you what? Upwards of £3,000 to get all your HGVs and your Class 1 and everything like that. And then you're going to be entitled to earn less than you would earn if you stack shelves in Sainsbury's. First of all, where the hell at 18 years of age are you going to get £3+ grand? Now, if your parents are going to provide that for you, surely they're going to provide it for you to do a diploma or a city in guilds or a degree or start a degree course or something like that. They're not going to happily give you that money to become a truck driver. They might do, I don't know. I mean, if it's your dream, then fair enough. And of course, you could go with the old Stobie Academy. Yes, you could. Well, it could get you into the industry. You'd probably lose your licence pretty quick given the corners those boys cut, but whatever. And I don't mean they're drivers, I just mean transport forcing their drivers to cut. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be new, you're not going to know any different. And that's how they get you. And remember, they might lose trucks off of their O licence or lose an O licence. You can face jail time. So always kind of bear that in mind when you're starting out in this industry. You've got to be clued up on what's legal and what's not. Otherwise you're going to find yourself in a very, very bad situation very, very quickly. Now, my personal view, if you are, say, under 23, okay, just for argument's sake, to me personally, under 23, do your 7.5 ton and or your Class 2. To be fair, just do your Class 2, you get 7.5 ton anyway. Find a company, General Haulier, Fagan, Valley, Knights of Old, Turners, Langdons, whoever, and see whether they'll take you on as a puddle jumper driver or a Class 2 driver. Get in there, be really reliable, be really good, keep your head down. I mean, you could go and work for bread companies like Warburton's, Kingsmill, Hovis. I think, what is it? Kingsmill's Allied Bakeries and Hovis is British Bakeries, I think, something like that. Go work for them, because that's virtually all Class 2 work. They have Class 1s, but they're trunks in between depots, but no, most of it's Class 2. Go work for those, be really good, be really reliable, keep your head down, show them that you are capable of doing the job, and that you're reliable, and then pester them to put you through your Class 1. Now there's no age limit, obviously once you're over 18 you can hit your Class 1, so you've got no issues with going into it. The thing is, if they put you through your Class 1, they've paid to make you Class 1, which means they're going to put you in Class 1 more often than anything else, because they've paid out money to get you into Class 1. You're going to be locked in with a contract, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, whatever their contract is. So you're going to have your experience at the end of the contract, having been a full-time Class 1 driver. So by the time you're 21, 22, you've got it, and you've only had to fork out for your Class 2 and not your Class 1, so you can virtually halve the cost. So, I mean, if you're over 23 and you're funding it yourself, then yeah, do everything back to back. It can't hurt. But if you're under 23, I strongly advise, very strongly advise in actual fact, just get to your Class 2. Find a job with a general haulier or something like that. Bread company, general haulier, whatever. And then pester them after about 6 months of being reliable, of not cocking up too much, of showing them that you're capable of doing the job. Start pestering them to do, do you need Class 1, Would you put me through my Class 1? I'll be tied to you for a few years. I mean, I'm new. You could mould me to be the driver that you want to be, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, you can pay out all the money, but chances are you're going to have a loan for that. And then you're going to find a job. They're most likely going to bang you in 7.5 ton to test you out. That's going to be the basic wage for your age, not the basic wage for me. Meanwhile, you've got a $3,000 loan to be paying back, and all the other living expenses, including commuting to and from work. So, just recovering that point, don't be put off by it, but just kind of strategize how you're going to do it. Always think a couple of moves ahead, and you should be fine. It's like when I did it, I was 24, I think. Yeah, I was about 24. And, oh goody gumdrops. Oh, someone's broken. Oh, somebody pulled out without thinking. Oops, look at those. Ooh, yeah, that went wrong, didn't it? This is why you look before you pull out. Oh, that knackered them, didn't it? Whoops. That garden centre, that's always been dodgy. People just pull out of there. They're like, I can go for it, and off they go. And because it's 2 lanes, they think, well, that car coming can move into the other lane, ignoring the fact that car's got somebody overtaking them. They've done it to me in a truck before now, and I have lit up the tyres trying to stop. I've just, all the trailer tyres are just locked on. The ABS has gone soddy, and you're just like, I will stop. Come on, you bastard. Yeah, that place is a bit dodgy. But no, I mean, strategize how you're going to do it. I mean, I did it when I was 24, so I did everything back to back. Now, I was working for the company that shall not be named, night crew, goods receiving. So I knew the drivers, I knew the agencies to go to, and I applied to an agency about August, September time, coming up to Christmas. And they were like, well, you're new, we're probably not going to be able to get you too much. They gave you all the usual stuff. Well, I didn't care, because I was full-time employed at that point in time. Anyway, Christmas came along, and sure enough, as all the drivers had told me, they're not going to give a crap about your experience at Christmas. They just need bums in seats. And so, hold on 1 second, just let me. And so, I got an assessment right, first ever, in a big blue chip retail company. And I walked in to do my assessment in my company uniform, in the store's uniform. And at first, both of them looked at me, both the trainers looked at me who were going to be doing the assessment. Hello. Looked at me and went, "We can't assess you, sorry. We can't assess you." Now I knew at the time, are you going to be nuts or are you going to be... There we go. Now I knew at the time that the stores had an agreement with the depots. Because the depots paid more per hour for their staff, a lot of people who were in the stores would transfer into the depots to earn more money. And of course the stores were losing staff. And so the stores and the depots had an agreement that you couldn't transfer from a store to a depot unless you were management and put there by the higher ups. And so I've gone wandering in this uniform, taking a chance, being met with, "Sorry, we can't assess you." And I'm thinking, oh, really? You know, I'm taking it seriously. And I'm like, well, why? Why? And both of them looked at me and went, "Because your last name doesn't end in ski." And then just started laughing, and I figured out what they were going on about. And anyway, I did all the DNA, drug and alcohol tests and all that kind of stuff. Piddling into a pot, basically. And got out to the unit, hopped in the unit, and my assessor looked at me and he went, "As long as you don't hit anything, you are not going to fail this assessment." So again, there's ways of playing it to your advantage. I mean, I was a company employee. I'm going in as a truck driver for that company. I'm in the company uniform. The assessors were basically unanimous in the fact that as long as I don't hit anything, you know, have an accident or munch curbs and obviously can't drive, I'm not failing, not even remotely failing. You know, they'll let me off with certain things perhaps they wouldn't let other people off with. So that's how I did it. But if you're under, say, 23, like I said for argument's sake, and your insurance is going to be quite high on these vehicles, you're going to have to spend a lot of money doing it off your own back to then be put in a situation where you're earning basic minimum wage for your age. And let's be honest, you can earn that stacking shelves, working behind the till at a petrol station, working in the local Hollywood Bowl. You know, what's the point? So kind of strategize how you're going to do it. Have a goal and go for it. Now, if that goal is get all of them because you know somebody who knows somebody else who's going to get you Class 1, go right ahead. But if you're fresh to it, get your Class 2 entitlement so as you can drive 7.5 tonne, and then go start applying for the 7.5 tonne jobs via general hauliers. Land the job, let them know you've got Class 2, so you've got that, you know, you can step up, be really reliable for about 6 months, and then start pestering them. You know, would you put me through my Class 1? Would you be willing to do that? You know, and you'll get your Class 1 for free. But then again, what the hell do I know? I'm just a driver. I don't know anything. But there we go. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. Put a little bit of sped up footage in, most likely. And I shall see you at Reading or Didcot, one of the two. I'm unsure at the moment, because if they're really clucking for this load, I'm not going to be at Reading very long. So, because they generally put about 4 or 5 people unloading me, so it's a bit annoying when you're hourly paid, but oh well, never mind. So I'm either going to see you at Reading, or I'm going to see you at Didcot. Hi guys, as you can probably notice, I'm not at Reading, although I am leaving that area, and I'm not yet at Didcot. Stuck in traffic. The 33 was down to one lane and absolutely knackered, and I think somebody had a whoops-a-daisy because there was various coppers at the turning I'm supposed to take, stopping us from turning that way if we're going straight on, and sending us through the local traffic only way. So something's gone Pete-tong down that way. God knows what that was. But I thought, oh, hello, I'm not going to go for that. I shall stay here, paid by the hour sometimes. I thought I would give a little advice life-wise to the younger people, well, to anyone really, but in my younger days, I was technically of no fixed abode. I wasn't homeless, but I ended up in a situation where I was living in a caravan with one habitable room, no running hot water, no lock on the door, and various things happened in my younger years. My mum died when I was 16, and I took it badly, even though I didn't outwardly allow myself to show it, and of course has a knock-on effect and various bits and bobs like that. But the one thing I did learn, and this is in relation to everything, not just getting your HGVs, but everything. Always plan for worst case scenario. Okay? Doesn't matter who you are. You can be the greatest optimist the world has ever seen. But in that situation, always planning, oh well, you know, just spend all this money and this will happen and you're going to be let down way more often than me. Take for example today. I started at 10:30. Today for me is a win. Today is a good day. Now, worst case scenario, start at 10:30, I get one store in London, come back, get a second store in London. Okay, so that's basically how my brain operates. Now, I've got to be careful here because the amount of people who use that lane to go into this lane is insane. There's one. There's two. See what I mean? You've got to be really careful in this area. You can see how the lanes are laid out though. But no, today's a win for me. Because I get in, it's a lovely sunny day, as you can clearly tell. And I get one of my favourite runs, Reading, Didcot, Wellingborough. Now, chances are going to stop in at Cherwell Valley. Chances are get an O.T.R Little Greggs. Now, whether that's the salad version or the, the pasty version, whether I want to watch my figure or add to my figure, depends how I feel when I get there. But this is a win. It's a good day. It's lovely conditions, lovely weather. It's a win. But I was planning for 2 London runs. So I'm happy. I'm naturally happy today. Because I've got a bonus. Yeah. I've got some hours and a really good run. Whereas certain people would, they'd be optimistic. Oh, I'm starting at 10:30. I bet I'm going to have Reading, Didcot, Wellingborough. Woo! And then they'll go in and they'll get Acton back for 9 hours. And all that time, all that happiness, all that joy about starting at 10:30 and getting a good run leaves them. And now they're in a bad mood. And of course that's going to have a knock-on effect to how your day goes, because if you're already in a bad mood, every slight little thing is going to aggravate you. And it's the same when getting your HGVs. If you've got the money to do it and it's not going to break your bank or put you in a large amount of debt or anything like that, then do everything back to back. Get your class 2, get your class 1, you've got them. But if it's going to be a bit of a struggle, get the 7.5 tonne part on your licence, maybe even get the class 2, depending on what difference there is in price. Stretch yourself a little further to get your class 2. And then do that for a while. Get some money, get some experience of being on the road all the time. And then get your class 1. Plan worst case scenario, especially when you're young. Yeah, get everything, get your class 1, and then can't get any more work outside for 7.5 tonne at basic minimum wage for your age. All of a sudden you've spent £3,000 and you're screwed, aren't you? So always plan worst case scenario and roll with the punches. But that's just a little, that's everything you do. It's a little piece of advice, a little tip, a little hint. In this modern era, it's a little hack for life. You know, I think that's the term. Plan worst case scenario, always, in everything. And then usually, as long as you've got your worst case scenario set out, whatever occurs, however diabolical that may be, has got to be better than or equal to your plan. And it will make you feel a lot happier. It will just make you happier, make you more relaxed. Just less things will get to you. That's just a little piece of advice I thought I'd throw into today's vlog. But there's no need to be a pessimist. You can be an optimist and plan worst case scenario. Just always try and plan 2 moves ahead. If anybody doesn't know how to play chess, go out and learn. If anybody doesn't know how to play Texas Hold'em poker, go out and learn. I'm being overtaken by everything and sundry at the moment, so I've got to knock off a couple of miles an hour, let them go. What a lovely jubbly. Nice and easy, didn't have to brake. But no, just always try and plan a couple of moves ahead. And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. Whether you'll be a massive success, well, time will tell. Just, you know, try and factor things in that you wouldn't necessarily. So whatever moves you make, try to keep them as safe as possible. But anyway, there we go. I shall most likely see you at Sharewell, because I doubt I'm going to have any time at Didcot. And you'll find out whether I got a Greggs or not. So place your bets. Place your bets now. Place your bets. 100 to 1 outside chance I'm not going to get a Greggs. Yeah. Evening guys, I'm on my break, Sharewell Valley. So, let's see. Who was the moron who bet I wouldn't buy a Greggs? Of course I'm going to buy a Gregg. I'm at Sharewell Valley. Be rude not to. But no, I'm sitting in the position I'm supposed to be sitting in for my break. And we're all supposed to be fair. And that is primarily because about 6 vehicles that way is VOSA or DVSA. Spot checking a couple of foreign trucks. Well, you never know how far through their tests they are and what trucks they're going to move to. Now I've got no air leaks, no lights out, no bald tyres, no infringements that I don't have printouts for from my card as far as I'm aware. I'm as legal as I can imagine to be. I mean, everything's sorted, secured, organised. So if they do come to see me, then it's a case of, hold on a minute mate, I'm on my break. When I finish my break, you can do whatever the hell you want. On my break, bye bye. Because at the end of the day I'm on my break. I can do what I wish. They cannot get me until I come off of my break. But anyway, I'm going to have my break, enjoy my Greggs, couple of sausage rolls if you're curious, and I got, because obviously I've got to try and become slightly healthier, I got that. Probably going to hate it, but I got it. And I don't have cola or stuff like that, I get water. Actually, I have had 1 can of Coca-Cola all year. That's 1 can. That's doing well. 1 can. Anyway, I shall most likely see you at Wellingborough and see whether my load's ready when I get there. Again, place your bets. See who thinks my load's going to be ready and who thinks it's not going to be ready, because Wellingborough have been running 2 hours behind from what I understand recently. But anyway, I shall see you when I get there. Well, at Wellingborough, that was wonderful. The temperature hasn't half dropped. There's a chill in the air, I'll tell you that. But no, I picked up my trailer, indicator bulb out, so I've had to go and hunt down the shunter to get him to open up the shunt shed to find a bulb. So that's always fun. Yeah, it wasn't too bad a wait for this. Oh, back to base now. I don't know whether I'll use the M1 or go the A1 way. I haven't decided. I might use the M1, I don't know. Hate that. Sitting there and you're thinking, should I, shouldn't I? I know that the A14's got road closures at night at the moment, eastbound, but I may as well use the M1. Rather wonderful. But yes, I suppose I should sod off. Get back to the yard end my day, go home, edit all this up, upload it. So I'll most likely see you back at the yard. The forward facing one battery died ages ago, so that's packed away and light's fading now. I did a 90-degree reverse in this yard and completely forgot to set my camera up so as you can see it in the mirror. I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that? It's just annoying. But anyway, I shall crack on, get back to base. I shall see you when I'm back at base. And that'll be that. Well, that's the end of another day. Oh, it's 10:15 now. By the time I finish it'll be 10:30. Excuse me, ish. And yeah, it's not been too bad really. I started at 10:30, finishing at 10:30. One of the trailers sounds like it's got a bit of an air leak, and the issue is when you get a trailer with an air leak and you leave it on the legs, I don't know whether the camera's picking that up, but the thing that keeps drawing my attention is when that happens, obviously the trailer starts to move, and of course the legs start to shudder, start to crack and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's that trailer just there. Oh well, never mind. But anyway, it's not been too bad. Reading did cut Wellingborough, innit? Ooh. In at 11:30 tomorrow. So, God knows what I've got then. I should have really looked. I usually have a look at the schedule in the gatehouse. I didn't today. Ooh. I think I've just noticed an Actros sitting up there with most of its... Actually, its driver's side step missing. Oh, and the top of the trailer's dented in. Ooh, someone's had a nasty one. Damn. And it's not just the front step, it's the entire front end. And the top of the trailer's all dented in as well. Ooh, I might have to go and have a shufty at that. I can't take any photos for obvious legal reasons, but ooh, someone's not going to be flavour of the month in this place. Well, looking at where it is, although I think the front might just be because of the impact or something like that. I don't think it's actually hit anything. It's just the curtains are loose at the front top corner, so it might not actually be anything to do with that. It might just be the curtains have been left loose. But looking at the front of it, it looks like they've changed lanes into a car. And it's on that side. I'm going to go have a look. But anyway, cheers for watching. Like, subscribe, share about, do whatever it is you usually do. Seems to be working. And I shall see you in the next one, which will be tomorrow. So take care, guys.